Okay, my name is Bolanle Daniel Olatoye. I am a chartered accountant and a certified internal auditor with over 20 years experience in various industries, including financial services and oil and gas industry, both in Nigeria and abroad. Okay, this takes me back to my early years. I remember from a very young age, I had a piggy bank. So my dad bought myself and my siblings piggy banks to save. And I found that my piggy bank was always full. So it got to a point where I said to my dad, any money I'm gifted, I'll give it to him to help me save. So I found that I had a very good flair for saving. So anytime I went to my mom to ask for my money back, she'll say, what do you think you've been feeding on all this while? So I learned the value of good savings, putting your money in a good place and putting your money where you know that you are going to get it back. So I also knew that I was good with numbers. So when I, had my career talk with the guidance counselor at my college, when it was time to move to university, it was very easy for me to decide exactly what I wanted to do. I knew that accounting and finance was what I wanted to study, and I went ahead to do that. And that is what informed the decision to be where I am today, which is in finance. A whole lot, a whole lot. Going through my early years, I was very ambitious. What the market demands is outcome. So I was very focused on delivery and performance. But when I was growing in Christ, when I became a Christian, I realized that the standards were different. I'm not just called to be accountable to people, I'm called to be accountable to God. So in everything that I do, I look at how I deal with people, what my values are saying to people. Am I dealing with integrity? Am I dealing with, am I working hard? Am I someone that's credible? Am I someone who, what I say is what I do? So my focus really, ever since I became a Christian, is really, doing the right thing because I know God is watching me. So whether or not there are people there, I always focus on doing the right thing. I have many, many examples over the years, but I'll just choose one example. And this was a period where I was in supply chain. So I moved from finance to supply chain within the same organization. And within supply chain, you deal with many, many contractors, extensive number of contractors. And a lot of them, want to favor you and they want to give you kickbacks or money just so that maybe you can, game the system to favor them too when it's time to make a decision in terms of winning contracts. But what I always do is, of course, dealing with people with utmost professionalism, ensuring that they understood what I stood for, which is to work with integrity. And I was able, to, of course, deal with people accordingly and expect the same from my team because people watch what you do, not just what you say. So that was a difficult situation, but I've been able to manage it over the years. Once people know what you stand for, they respect that and actually, align with your boundaries. Yeah, so I see my career, my job, as a platform for influence. So where there are opportunities to demonstrate who I am. I definitely enjoy those opportunities. So basically, people watch you. Like I said, it's people watch what you do more so, especially when you're managing a team, when you're dealing with several individuals in the organizations, both managing up and managing down as well. So they watch what you do and how you do it. One thing I found in my work and over the years is that people confide in me, and I always wonder why. Sometimes I hear information and they tell me things that in my mind I'm like, why is it that people find it easy? But I've realized that when I'm someone who you can tell anything and I won't share it with the next person. I can keep your secrets and I will always, tell you the truth, be it in love. I wouldn't, manipulate situations to benefit me. I will be clear on what it is. So in terms of ensuring that, I'm called to the workplace, not just to do the work, but to help people and to encourage people and to show people, a different way of doing things. For example, now I had, someone in my team who's a Muslim who had issues, and we spoke about it professionally, and also he asked for us to pray, and for a while we were praying together. Concerning a matter. So situations like that, show that in a marketplace, especially when you're a Christian, what you've been called to do is beyond, just being there to earn money. You are there to touch lives. You're there to make an impact. You're there to empower people, to elevate people. And you're there as a steward, even as a leader, because if we look at so many examples of people in the past, like Christ, I believe is the greatest leader of all time. So if you look at his leadership, his humility, his sacrifice, his service, those are the characters I try to imbibe when I'm dealing with people. So with that at the forefront of my mind, at work, each day I get to work, I say a prayer that, people leave me feeling better than when they met me. So that consciousness is what I carry every day into the office. And that my role has helped me deliver that on a daily basis. So many other things. My career has helped me in also my personal ministry, which is a story for another day. So watch this space, but it is a platform for influence, like I've said. Yeah, it's important to have some principles and values. For me, it's been integrity, hard work, sacrifice, and continuous improvement. I am one believer that I get better with age in every aspect of my life, spiritually, mentally, financially. And because I'm a Christian, it is a no-brainer. We know the Bible verse that talks about from going from glory to glory, strength to strength. One thing I have enjoyed is the hand of God in my career. You may have all the skills in the world, but it is important and to know that God is another skill or angle for want of a better word to hold on to. Just like Daniel in the Bible, we saw that he was excellent, but he also held on to God through this period. So just, a few examples of, just so many different ways God has, helped me through my career. And it was out of recognizing his and acknowledging his presence, and also doing what I needed to do. So as I said, the Bible says that if you see a man who's diligent in his work, he will serve before kings. He will not serve before mere men. So, many, many years ago, my early career, school, all of that, my early years were not in Nigeria. And because of personal reasons, my parents were old, all of my siblings were out of the country. So somebody needed to come back home. And I made the decision, being the last child. I didn't know what, was going to happen, but I just felt like somebody needed to be around for my parents. So I moved to Nigeria, not knowing what I was going to do. I had a good job abroad. I took a sabbatical just in case, I needed to run back. But thank God I never needed it, and I never looked back, because, my moving here has been one of the best decisions I've made in my life. So, like I said, I moved to Nigeria for my parents, and to work in Nigeria, you have to do NYSC. So I got posted to another organization. And when I did, people were like, oh, tell them to change it. You're just going to waste your time there. They never keep people. They never retain people. Just go do something. There was advice from different places. But, I just thought, look, they've posted me here. I'm going to do the work. And I joined. And a few months later, the head of compliance within the team was going on maternity leave. And the MD then called me and said to me, oh, I want you to step into that role for 3 months since she's going to be away. And I was wondering why she would, out of nowhere, pick me, of all people. All I do is just do my work and try to do it diligently. I'm not one of those people who, when there's work to be done, I complain. I stay late to get things done. So I guess she had seen those, the behavior in me, and she gave me that opportunity. And shortly after that, when NYSC was over, she said to me, no, she doesn't want me to leave. She's going to give me a contract. Even though there are no permanent roles, there are never permanent roles, she's going to give me a contract. And she did. And you know what? After 9 months, an opportunity came up, and I was, recommended for the role, and I came in. And I know it was the hand of God, because all the things around it worked against me getting into that organization. So that was one example. But I worked, even though I was working as serving, I worked diligently, took on opportunities, volunteered for additional roles, did a lot more than I was expected to do and than my peers were doing, basically at that time. So that was one example. Even in the organization over time, there has been several instances where people were being laid off for one reason or another, but God, was able to move me from one place to the next, to this very point. And like I said, integrity, working hard, even when nobody is looking, God is watching. And God is such a just judge, because he looks at what you have done. He's the one that promotes, not man. He looks at what you have done and sees if you are, have done enough to be able to move to that next level. So I'll advise young people these days not to, rush things, spend time to develop your skills, spend time to gain experience, spend time to sit under someone who will mentor you, have the right attitude, and most of all, hang on to God like your life depends on it. Because He's the only one that can direct you and move you where you need to be. I have enjoyed that throughout the course of my career. And I'm just grateful for every opportunity that I'm given. Plan it and do it, actually. So I'm going to be a rebel here. night. I can stay up till whatever time. Facts. Yeah, not stories. Both I'm going to be. It depends on the day. That's a difficult one for me. I'll say fixing existing ideas because, there's nothing new under the sun. So life is a cycle, really. Yeah. Oh my goodness. I have so many. Oh my goodness. I have so many. Yeah, I'll say, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believes in him shall not perish but have everlasting life. So we know that in John 3:16. The gifts of Christ, the gifts of salvation, is the best gift anyone could ever have. So I am grateful for Christ and the gift of Christ. So I will choose that as my favorite today.